For all sports. I mean, soccer's 5-1. Congratulations to them. Volleyball's 4-2. Football's 2-0. 11-3 overall. That's pretty fun stuff around here. So, a lot of happy people. That's good.
Relations staff here.
There we go. That's right. We're just cheer on everybody. Cheer on everybody around here. See. Hey, there we go. It's good. Good time. We got a great week. Excited.
How exciting for you this matchup this weekend of two teams whose defenses are both ranked in the national top 20 or 25?
I think it's really fun. I mean, I think they've kind of got a tradition set on being good every year on defense. Statistically, they're really, really good. I mean, shoot, -3 yards per game rushing. Now that's pretty dang good. So we've got quite a challenge to match up to them, and those are the kind of things that we aspire to do around here. So I think it'll be a great environment up there. I mean, we've showed our kids. It's a great thing about cell phones. I mean, you can get on YouTube and Twitter and find crowd noise and see what their crowd's like pregame and all that stuff. So we showed them videos of that, of what they're going to walk into, and what a great challenge we had of us. So I'm excited to head up there. I thought the game started. I thought we tackled better. I thought the pursuit was better. I thought the pursuit angles were better early on. What we lacked was finishing. I thought that's been the theme this week. They can't relax. We got lackadaisical. I mean, the first 10 drives of the game, 6 of those drives end in 3 and out. Okay, I'm going to be positive today. Okay, 6 of them end in 3 and out. Okay, that's going to end real quick because the second drive was a 14-play drive. Okay, we had 3 opportunities on 3rd down to stop that. In the first half, we were terrible on 3rd down. I think they were 4 of 9. I mean, I think they started out 3 for 3. The first one was a 3rd and 1. Football, I mean, in the history of the game, all these analytical books and everything now, 3rd and 1 is like 87% all-time conversion rate for the offense. And we've had 6 3rd and 1 so far this season, and we've stopped 4 of them. That's pretty good. That's almost unheard of. I mean, we've lucked into some good guys making plays. Okay, they converted a 3rd and 1 on that drive. They converted a 3rd and 3, and then the 3rd and 19 we stopped them. A 14-play drive, they ended in no points. That's not very common either. But we found a way to get off the field without them. 14 plays, and I think it was 60 yards. Through the first 10 drives, I thought we had improved on the stuff that we wanted to improve on from the week before. Early in the game, the first series, we saw that the quarterback was handling our pressures pretty well, and it wasn't so much that they were picking them up. The quarterback was smart, and Coach Taylor had done a great job. And if they show you blitz, which we've shown 3 or 4 of them. If they show you this blitz, here's what it's going to be: get the ball out quick, and we'll see if they're going to cover us. And we were playing off a little bit, about 7 yards, and they were dinking it for 3 or 4 yards. I thought, okay, they've got the quarterback schooled up pretty good. We can either dial up stuff that we haven't done and see if we execute it, or go into the game. I thought we would be able to minimize them from moving the ball because I thought we were better up front, and we'd keep the ball in front of us and keep them from getting sustained drives. Not bend but don't break. I didn't want to give up first downs. But we were at an advantage. We could play an 8-man box with our cover 2 stuff and keep them from moving the ball. And for it was about 53 minutes, it worked really darn good. Okay, we get a 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 12 that they could convert a first down because of a pass interference call. The very next play, we cause a sack fumble. We don't get it. We got a defensive lineman that has his hand around the ball, and they're able to recover it. From that point on, we have 3 assignment errors that we had not made. We'd run the same coverages numerous times during the game, and we have 3 assignment errors, and they go boom, 40-yard play, boom, 8-yard play, touchdown. And that is a total lack of concentration, a total lack of focus. So we need to do stuff in practice to keep them engaged longer. And so I went back and watched all last week's practice, because we keep all that stuff forever around here, and see where the tempo changed at what point in the practice. And sure enough, probably should have watched it better last week, because you can see kind of towards the end of practice we start to not be as sharp. So the big focus this week has been finish. We changed up a little bit of the format of how we did some of the team stuff. With the noise that's going to be out there, it's going to be loud. So we got all them fancy speakers and stuff. So they practice that stuff and being able to concentrate while that's going on and still be able to maximize your time on finishing. That's been the focus. I didn't think we did good. I thought we improved on the aspects of the game of tackling. I thought we improved on our position setting. I thought we really lacked in the last 5 minutes of the game. And that was why if you look at it, the first 10 drives, they have 145 total yards and no points. 6 of those 10 drives were 3 and out. The last 3 drives were 7 plays, 7 plays, 7 plays, a total of 160 yards and 7 points. Well, that's bad coaching because they got lackadaisical. So we're gonna fix it. And if you can pinpoint the reasons, I hope I'm right. I try to find every chink in the armor every week when we screw something up. This is why we did it, and this is my belief, my opinion. And if you believe in something, then you have a better chance of getting it solved. That's where we're at.
But then, when you face an out-of-conference opponent like Michigan State 2 years in a row, is there any kind of inclination to maybe, I'm not going to say reinvent the wheel, but just to do things that are giving them totally different looks?
Absolutely. I learned a long time ago. And here's a perfect example. The triple option. It's a great offense. I think it's the greatest offense ever invented because you can never beat it on the chalkboard. They always have a free guy. They always have a guy unblocked that's going to block. It's also a boring offense, but it's very traditional. It's great. You move the ball, all that stuff. If we had a plan one year, we played them. We have a plan, and we took up gaps. There's all these theories, practice without the ball, whatever. We had a great plan and we stoned them. So all offseason we're like, oh, this is invincible. Well, guess what? They practiced it. We lined up the same way and they rushed for 500 and some yards and scored 40 points. I learned a very quick lesson. You can never give somebody the same thing because they're going to practice it, they're going to have ideas. So the trick is, how do you do similar things conceptually, but they look different? And we've got a whole arsenal of stuff. Now, the stuff that we've done the first 2 weeks, they'll practice that. They'll practice what we did last year. They'll go through. They're just like our coaches around here. They've watched all 13 of our games from last year to try and decipher, okay, this tendency, this is what they do here. So it's our job to come up with stuff that doesn't confuse our kids, but gives them a completely different look. Because if you play fast, you got a chance to really be good. If they're confused and they don't play fast, a la San Diego State last year, that's my fault, then they don't have a chance. So we evolved with where we're at in our scheme, which they can handle more, which is really good. So I'm really excited to go up there. I watch a lot of the Michigan State stuff on defense, and they're flying around. It'll be a really fun atmosphere. It should be 2 good defensive. And if we got to concentrate, not make mistakes, and give ourselves a chance to be in the ballgame.
What do you see the team that's different from last season so far? 2 games.
They made some changes on their offensive staff. It's all the same coaches, but they moved some guys around. Brian Lewerke's a really good quarterback. He's a local kid from here, so we got an opportunity to beat him last year, so he's going to be fired up. They're going to be ready for us when we walk in there. They've changed some of their 10 and 11 personnel stuff. They're trying to go into the spread mold of it. A lot of the stuff that we've seen the first 2 weeks as far as concepts, they do a lot of those. They're just bigger, faster, and stronger doing it. And they showed a lot of improvement from week 1 to week 2. Week 1, they were it was the first time full speed against a different opponent, installing all the new stuff. And they had some hiccups here and there on how they were trying to execute. Well, they didn't the next week. 500 and some yards total offense is pretty impressive. And 51 points. So they've kind of oiled some kinks out, and they know where. The good thing about Lewerke is he's really smart. He knows how to get the ball out quick. He has a pretty good idea of trying to read the defense, so he knows what's going to be open. So that's our job, to not be statues, to move around, to give him different looks so that he thinks something's open and then it's not. And that's the plan going in. But they'll have some new stuff for us, the new wrinkles that we haven't seen. See how disciplined we are with our eyes. If we can keep our eyes clean and not get dirty, then we'll have a chance to execute some of that stuff.
Is Elijah Collins 24 their best running?
I think so. Didn't start last week, but he got the bulk of the carries. Downhill, physical, can make you miss. I think he's been really. Now Hayward, they use those stable of running backs, and they'll put them out at wide receiver, and they'll run different routes with them and try and get them the ball in space. 24 seems to be the most downhill one right now, kind of from the tradition of the Michigan State running back. So I would anticipate him getting the bulk of the carries and probably even the start. The Naylor kid that hurt his foot, they're fly sweep for the first week, so they'll use a couple other guys by committee to do some of that stuff. I thought he was really good. I mean, he was fast, quick, had good vision when he got the ball around the edge. So I hope he gets healed and healthy for their Big Ten. I mean, broke foot, that's probably 6 weeks, so hopefully he can be back by the end of the season for him. Pray for him there. But they'll have some fly sweep stuff that'll be fun to defend. We'll have some fun with it, so we'll see.
With game planning or play calling, how much are you influenced by having confidence that they're going to be in a lot of long field situations because you have a good punter, or by thinking that a game might be low scoring, or those sorts of variables?
I think you got to kind of look at it every week going into it. How do you face up against your opponent? How do you match up? Are you as good as them? Are you better? Are you not as good? And then you got to kind of realize, okay, what chances can you take as we get on in the game? Now, I think Turk gives us a huge advantage. I mean, their first 3 drives on Saturday night started inside the 10-yard line. I mean, it's hard to go 90 yards over and over. I mean, so that helps tremendously. Now you have certain calls where you want to try and keep them backed up so that we can get the offense a short field. See if we can create some turnovers. I mean, we've caused 10 fumbles as a football team so far in 2 games. Now the problem is we've only recovered 3 of them. We've only intercepted 1 ball through 2 games. We've got our hands on 3, so we got to continue to turn those, and those things change the game. So we've got to continue to use Turk as a weapon, and then be aggressive at the right times. What we can't do is give up big plays because we make mistakes. I mean, I got no problem. Well, every once in a while, a guy's going to get beat just because he gets beat, because they have ball players too. But when you get beat because of a mental mistake, it kills you. And so don't confuse them so that they can play fast and we can call the right stuff at the right time to keep them backed up. But I think we have a huge advantage with Turk, and definitely go in there trying to keep them from being able to move long drives. And if it's a low-scoring game, great. I hate high-scoring games, so I hope we have a bunch of points and they don't, and obviously, but we'll see. But that's the plan going in.
On those fumble recoveries, Danny, how much of that is just luck, or do you think that since you guys should always be around the ball, that you should be getting?
I think it's a combination of both. Of the 10, okay, one of them was a punt that they fumbled that we didn't get back. Though we had guys around the ball, it bounced right to them. The one that Kobe caused in the Kent State game bounces out of bounds. We got guys scrambling to it, and that was a great pop, and that ball bopped about 8 yards back. There's been 3 of them that have been really good hits, 2 against Kent State, 1 against Sacramento State, where the ball gets knocked loose and it bounces right back to them. I think that's luck. The sack fumble after the pass interference, I think that's Rowe had his hand on it. I mean, that's one that we've got to come up with. The one on the sack fumble that we got against Kent State, where Kalen Thomas caused the fumble, George Lee does a great job. And we talk about this all the time. If there's space in front of you, you use your fingertips and you try and scrape it on the ground. And we do different drills where they're scraping so they get all their fingertips on the ball. If you're around a pile, or if you see odd color flash, you just get on it. Well, he could have probably picked it up and scored, but he felt one of our guys there. So he rolled on it and cradled and did a great job. I mean, we do that stuff because I think that stuff is ultra important. Cradling the football, being around a pile. When you got to know when to scoop it and when not, because you'll see numerous times guys trying to scoop the ball around a pile and it ends up going the other way. We haven't done that. We just haven't had the luxury. I mean, it's bouncing right to them. So I think 2 of them I pinpointed on tape. That effort would have been the difference between getting that or not. The other ones, it's been luck. So the good thing is the ball is on the ground. If you keep putting the ball on the ground, I promise you we're going to come up with them. So the good thing is we're being physical and we're getting it out. We just need to change the field for the offense by recovering those guys.
For the freshmen, you talked about obviously getting used to the freshmen, play the first 2 games here, and get the bye at camp. Now they're going atmosphere like Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make it more nervous? Is there anything you kind of maybe guys, coaching staff advice-wise, just kind of give it to
No, I see. I think this is one of the very few things in football that's good for a defensive guy, because football is all about offense. Everybody wants to keep points. They want to be fast paced. I mean, they make the rules for the offense too. I mean, hopefully I don't get in trouble for that, but they do. Crowd noise does not affect the defense. It ain't gonna be loud for us when we're out there. If they're loud, it's because they're scoring a whole bunch of points. It ain't gonna affect us. If they're not loud, when we're watching the game from the sideline, they're loud because our offense is out there, so the offense has got to deal with that. And then when we're home, we feed off all that energy. We want them to be loud because it screws up the offense, because all of our communication can be done through hand signals. And that's where we made a mistake on Saturday night on the touchdown. We make a hand signal wrong because of a guy not being into it, and all of a sudden we play the wrong coverage. If we concentrate, we can eliminate those things and feed off of that energy. Now, if they're making loud noises because we're on the field, then we ain't playing very good. And they got to learn how to deal with that, because when they're trying to snap the ball, when the offense is on the field, on the road, there ain't no noise, because they want their offense to be able to execute and communicate. So one of the very few positives about being a defensive coach in this game is we don't have to practice that stuff. I mean, that's all white noise to us. I mean, it's good. So what it will be is a great environment. I mean, if you can't get excited to play like that when there's going to be 80,000+ people there, an opportunity for Coach D'Antonio. Hello there. The opportunity for Coach D'Antonio to become the winningest coach in Michigan State history. I mean, that's fun. I mean, why else would you play? So I think the freshmen will have a whole lot of fun, and it'll be a great environment. And when you go up there and beat somebody, it's quiet, and those are really enjoyable moments. I mean, a locker room after a football game like that, I don't know that there's a better place on this earth. I mean, it's people won't understand how hard it is to win football games, so you gotta enjoy them when you win. And positive signs about a program, the last 2 weeks, we have not really enjoyed those wins like they should. As much work and effort that they put into football on a yearly basis for 13 or 12 guaranteed opportunities, when you win, you should enjoy it and then beat yourself up when you watch the tape and get ready for the next one. Well, and it goes back to, I hate losing more than I enjoy winning. And when winning becomes a relief, that means you're pretty good. Well, I mean, we gave up 14 points in the last 2 weeks. We should have given up 0. Bothers me like no other. So research, seek the knowledge. How are we going to solve that? We might have to give up that many this week or less to have a chance to win. That's the world we live in. I'm okay with that. And our kids are understanding that too. And the offense is going to come along, and they're going to start scoring points. And if we can keep playing good defense around here, we got a chance to be pretty good.
I think you might not surprised that Jack Jones was able to hit the ground running when he got here, but what did you see from him after 2 weeks?
The fact that he was able to get on the field as fast as he was, especially from coming back with an ankle injury, has been great. He's still making some mistakes schematically, so we still got to hone in on those. He's still doing a good job of getting his rehab and all that stuff. On Saturday night, Chase Lucas had the hot hand, so he got the majority of the reps and played really well. Chase Lucas is no longer a back tackler. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but he is that. And the great thing about the kid is he's coming to me and telling me, Coach, did you see all my tackles? I'm trying hard, and he is. So we've beaten it into his head how to do things the right way in tackling, and he's playing better for it. And he made a lot of really good plays because of that. That's a positive. He was playing really well on Saturday night, so we dealt with him. Who knows? Maybe it'll be Tamarcus Davis this week. Maybe it'll be Jack Jones. The one that's been super consistent, like always, is Kobe. I thought the pass interference, I thought it was a great play. I mean, he turned into him, jumped up, punched the ball out. I mean, we're going to get those calls that go against us. And the disappointing thing was we didn't respond. And so that's a good lesson to learn from it. But he's still making progress. I mean, when those guys have the hot hand, they're going to play, because we got some playmakers back there, and look forward to keep seeing him get better.
And you noted ASU historian that you are.
Yes, sir.
Wondering if you thought about the fact that you'll be playing Saturday, the place where Frank Cush played, and where a former Sun Devil Hall of Fame coach, Darryl Rogers, was coach.
No doubt. And, Coach Cush being an alumni from there, and then when he's always an assistant coach, and then he goes down to Atlanta and becomes a coach down there, and then Coach Devine gets a job here and offers him a job, and he hitchhikes from friggin' Georgia to Tempe. Pretty special person to do that. shows you his mental toughness, get all the way across the dang country with no money for a job that didn't pay very much then. And the Michigan State bloodline that between these two schools, I mean, it's pretty cool history. And so I hope we can make Coach Cush proud on Saturday. I hope he's looking down and smiles, and it'll be fun. I'm excited to go play.
How many snaps Case Hatch played?
So Case Hatch, we tried to, Merlin dinged up a little bit, knocked the wind knocked out of him during the second quarter, and he was getting mad at me because we wouldn't let him go back in for a second and wanted to catch his breath to make sure he was okay, because I thought we were playing pretty good at that point, and we needed to get those guys reps. Where Case struggled, now Case, I think he ended up with, in the second half, where he's got the majority of his reps. I think he was 18 in that final quarter. The pursuit angles is what he needs to work on the most, because he's a physical, I mean, on the 40-yard play, he is 2 inches from getting causing a sack fumble. He did a nice job coming around the corner, and he's got some really good, I mean, he's a physical, he can run fast. And what we're working on right now, know your disadvantage. Right now his disadvantage is in space. But where you can correct that is taking the right angle. So I'm going to sign him up for a geometry class so he can figure all that stuff out in class at the same time, get better at football and school at the same time. So you take the right angle to get those guys down. He missed a couple of them because of that. But I can't say enough about his effort, and still, a kid coming off a mission, he's probably a year and a half ahead of where he should barely be getting back into football shape, and he's playing in Division I football games. So give him a lot of credit for, one, following his faith and being a believer and going through that whole process, and two, being able to maintain that and start football from day one and be successful. And he's got a bright future here. He's becoming one of the linebackers that we can go to. We didn't have Tyler on Friday night, so his rehab is coming along. It'll be a game time decision. He did some good stuff out there, and I want to give Tyler a lot of credit, because he has worked his tail off since he pulled his hamstring last week to try and get back. I think Coach Connolly and Jerry Garcia have done a phenomenal job of working him, so he'll be a game time decision. He helps us, Case helps us, so to keep that depth at linebacker. And then we're rotating the guys, and Coach Kane's doing a good job. We're trying to find a combination that gives us our best pass rush, so we can, when we do send a 4-man rush, we can get closer to the quarterback. Because I think the thing that we gave in a little bit on some of our coverage stuff. Now, we played a ton of coverage too on Saturday night. I think it was like 78% of our coverage was cover two. Don't give up big plays. Keep them in front of you. Tackle. Not bend, but don't break. But don't give up big plays. And so the opportunities to break on balls where we weren't very good at that was at the second level. I thought our underneath players didn't read the quarterback very well. So we've done a lot of stuff in individual drill this week to see 3-step, see his 5-step drop. Lewerke's really, I mean, he's sharp with the ball. His 5-step is not real deep in the pocket, so he can step up there. He's got great vision, and those old linemen, I think the thing that they have going for him this year, last year as we were getting ready to play him, they had a lot of old linemen going through musical chairs trying to find the right combination, and over 2 weeks, they've been really good. They're big up front, they're physical, they try and strike you. I mean, they have the same demeanor that we do. They want to try and gore you into the ground and kill you. And so I hope we're up for the challenge. We'll know right away. These are the kind of games you play for. It's going to be a physical, nasty, mean. I mean, the bottom of those piles are going to be ugly. And the toughest guy is going to win. The team that plays the hardest, the longest is going to win. And they know the challenge. If they don't know it, they've been hearing about it all week. And if they're scared, then I hope they stay here in Tempe. I don't think we have any guys that are scared on our side of the ball. I mean, today was the most physical practice we've had in a long time. And that was because of them, not the design, but they were running into both sides of the ball. I mean, the team run period we had was friggin' awesome. And I mean, I'm a firm believer you're going to play the way you practice. So be violent in practice, and that transpires and it goes over into the game. So I wish it was Saturday already. 4 o'clock Eastern time Saturday won't come soon enough.
Could you get back to Case real quick? When he first came here, you weren't expecting him to
Nope.
be able to play.
I was not expecting Case to be able to play, not as a freshman. When you looked at his physique, you thought, holy cow, who's this kid? Because he obviously had the 2 years to mature from high school. He did a great job working out I told him, I said, man, I hope you didn't rob the LDS Church of their mission, because there's people looking down on you that'll punish you for that. So he did a great job in both learning from his mission. I mean, I ask him questions all the time about that stuff because I find it very fascinating and I want to know all that stuff. And so what he did, I can't give the kid enough credit. It's amazing. Good for him. Good for him. I'm excited to see him continue to grow. He's one of those kids that could very easily potentially earn a scholarship, especially since you got the new rule in the NCAA. If they're in your program for a year and they've proven they can play, you can put them on scholarship and it doesn't count against your initial 25, and it goes to the 85 number, and we've got room there. So he's the perfect candidate. He's one of those, which is, can't say enough about him, and I hope he continues to get better. And I'll ask him how his geometry class is going, so we'll see how he plays better on Saturday. But oh, speaking of school, so here's a little story for you. And sorry, here we go. It'll be quick, okay? I'm one of those ones. Don't talk about something you don't know about. And I made a great error last week. Moron, wet ball. Okay, it's a wet ball theory. And I've got my son who's in the Barrett Honors College, and I think I embarrassed him more than he because they watch this stuff because they want to make fun of me or whatever and all the stuff. You talk too much with your hands. He's like, really, wet ball? I'm all, my fault. A little science weather. Sorry, it's the wet bulb. Okay, it's nice out there today. We didn't have to deal with any of that stuff. So now I got Jerry, who's monitors that stuff for us, and now I've embarrassed my son. So I want to apologize to Jake. Sorry. Try and make it up to you. You never talk about something you don't really know about. I should have researched it more. So now I got all kinds of information about the wet bulb. If anybody wants to have a conversation about it, we can take 5 minutes to do it. But so that was my little story. What else we got? Any more questions?
Case has to do with mission.
In Florida, actually, he got lucky. He stayed in the States. He wasn't in a third world country that was really hard. I mean, now he was in a rough area, and he wasn't able to go to a gym. I mean, all this stuff was stuff that they self-made because they make him do that. They don't get to live with luxuries, and so now he was still in the United States. He's fluent in Spanish, which is really cool. So good for him. I mean, I'm proud of him, and he keeps getting better week to week. He's got a little dyed hair right now, and every once in a while, man, that bleach is getting a little close to your brain. Let's go. Come on, quit making mistakes. So he's an awesome kid to be around, fun to be around, and like I said, I'm proud of him, and he keeps getting better week to week. He's gonna play in a great environment this week, and like Doug asked, I would have never expected him to play this year when he got here in January. So kudos to him.
It's in Miami area.
Yeah,
Yes.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yep, Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. It's easy day. That's all you got. Who else going up there? Awesome. It'll be fun. It'll be a great environment. So let's go up there. Go Sun Devils. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.